I'm chatting with Nat. It's chatting with Nat, and I'm chatting with Nat because everybody's going to be chatting with Nat. My name is Natalie Jean, Nat, and you're with Chatting with Nat. Today we're going to have Kendra. Kendra. She's got the bunnies in there. And so I am going to get her in right now. Here we go. Let's get Kendra in there. Hopefully she's coming in there. Actually, I'm going to invite her. Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. It's a little chilly in here, but I'm all right. I'm warm with my little hat on. I'm trying to be a little festive. So let me get everybody, let everybody know who you are. Okay, this is Kendra. I have a little cheat sheet here. You're a songwriter, guitar, writer, poet, actress, and author, and amazing person all together, right? Kendra is a singer-songwriter, writer, actress, and published author from Houston, Texas, based now in Los Angeles, California.
Yep.
She performs under the stage name Kendra and the Bunnies as a psychedelic folk rock Americana and spoken word artist. Love it. Her style heavily utilizes the element of storytelling through song, and I love that part, painting a creative experience for the listener. She has released 3 albums, charted globally at number 8 on the digital radio charts between Dua Lipa at number 7, Miley Cyrus at number 9, which is pretty impressive.
Thanks.
Published 2 books, writes for several online music magazines, is SAG-AFTRA eligible, and tours nationally. You can read more about Kendra's music and writing in publications such as Jam Bass, Relics Magazine, Live for Live Music, Denver Westward, Houston City Book, Grateful Web, When Do You Have Time to Relax, Getty Images, Shakedown News, The Hollywood Digest, Indie Pulse Music, and more. Kendra has graced many famous stages, including the Viper Room, House of Blues Anaheim, the Mint LA, Coyotes True Blue Denver, Molly Malone's Music in New York City, Trip Santa Monica, the Resident GTLA, Millennium Music Conference, Hollywood Post 43, American Legion, and more. Thus far, she has played as Kendra and the Bunnies in California, Colorado, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Arizona, New York, and counting. My God, when do you have time to breathe?
Oh my gosh. Thanks for reading that. That's so funny you mentioned that. I was hanging out with a friend yesterday and we had just like this moment where it was like, she was like, girl, you need to relax and take a breath sometimes. But you know, I'm like a rabbit. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just full of energy. So it's like, you know, my mind's going a million times a minute. So it's almost like I find sanctuary in moving that quickly too.
No, I get it. You know, as a Sagittarius, I can't stand doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm constantly moving. I constantly have so many ideas. I jot them down all over the place, which drives me crazy because when I'm looking for someone, I know that it's in one of these notebooks. I know I've done something. I know where it is, but it's all over the place. So I get that. So tell us a little bit about your music. I love the fact that you're a singer-songwriter and you tell stories. That's why I love like the Americana genre, and that's why I'm so focused in it.
Yeah, for sure. What genre are you in?
You really wanted to ask that question.
Well, I know that you're a singer-songwriter, but then I was like, wait, what genre because it sounds like you might like Americana.
So I actually do many genres. Right now I'm focused on Americana because I really love the songwriting aspect. Not the songwriting, but the singer-songwriting aspect, the storytelling is what I love about it.
Very cool. Yeah, so my genre, my music, I would say it's kind of evolving over time, and it's kind of similar to you where it's like when I get inspired to write, because I listen to all different types of music, so I'll get inspired to write a lot in Americana, that storytelling, folk-based singing and songwriting. Then I get inspired in like the hip hop lane too, which is like poetry, spoken word, to like a groove and beat or groove and bass, bass line or something. Definitely rock and roll influence. And then I'm starting to like move a little bit into pop realms just
Okay.
because I don't know, I want to start being super upbeat,
Right.
which is cool. You know, I'm an artist. I've got these like deep trenches that I go into, and so it's like I want to challenge myself and ask myself to rise to the occasion with like this new song to write stuff that's like self-love, positivity. Right. We are going to go have fun and dance, and so all of that at once, but right now focused on like that upbeat pop rooted in Americana.
I love that, because the next question I was going to ask you is, how do you feel about, you know, musicians, artists delving into almost the political world? Like, I just released an album called Where Do We Go From Here? It's a social impact message album. You know, it's really what I want to do. I wanted to rebrand myself, being more of an effective player in life and making a difference with my music. Is that what you're trying to do here?
Yeah, so, you know, it's just like everything going on. It's like, it just is part of the art now. And I'm definitely starting to infuse that not only into my art, but into my day-to-day life. I've come across a few different situations where all of a sudden I had to stand up for marginalized people, and just like being upfront and talking to someone right there and being like, please don't say that. That makes me uncomfortable. That whole thing. So it's interesting because it's starting to take part in like my day-to-day life, but ultimately we are all here together. So for me, I'm fusing in that like unity, world peace type vibe.
Okay.
And then we'll see where it goes from there, because I can be super bold with like my word choices too, but I feel like right now my kind of vibe is to like be like peace, unity, and let some people who have some real topics to like cover what's going on socially right now, if that makes sense.
No, I love that. So what is your creative process like?
Well, it can be so many different types of stuff. Like, for instance, I can be like driving in the car and then I see a street sign, or like one time I saw this mattress store called the Dream Merchant, which is actually an old school funk song, but I had never heard that song before. And I just got super inspired and wrote this whole song about the Dream Merchant.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's like sometimes I'm driving, I see inspiration. Sometimes I'm at home and I'll get in my feelings, because I do that. I mentioned that where it's like, all of a sudden I will think about that one part of my personality that I don't like to think about. And then it's like, remember that one time that that kid pointed out that you were like chubby when you were a kid? And then next thing you know, I'm just like, oh God, I gotta go play the guitar. And a lot of songs come from me just being like, I have to go play the guitar right now. And then so then on the flip side, it's like, now I'm starting to be like, okay, I'm feeling good. Let me sit down and write while I'm feeling good, to get those songs from that place too.
Right. No, I get that. I mean, the same thing happened to me. I'm like you in the sense that one day I was like, oh my God, I have to have another song for my album. What am I going to write about? And then I was walking by this bus stop and there was a map. And so I said, okay, let me just write about a map. And the basic song is about relationship, is a guy coming back to you and you're telling the guy, get a map, get a clue. Because I'm not coming back to you. Yeah, I did that. I did my thing. How is the music scene? Now, I've been to LA several times, but how do you find the music scene in LA?
Where are you right now? Nashville?
So no, I'm actually in Maryland, near DC.
Oh, Maryland. Maryland has a good music scene too. One of my favorite bands, Animal Collective, comes from Maryland.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes. Baltimore, yeah.
I'm like, wait, I need the map now. The question was, what was the question?
How do you feel LA has treated you? What's the music scene like?
Oh, well, you can tell that LA has seeped into my mind. I'm like, wait, what are we talking about? I'm just like thinking about the sunshine. LA is good. You know, it has actually been a little bit just a hair like that, where different aspects of the culture out here and pop culture have started to seep into just my day-to-day life. And I used to be kind of guarded and super protective of my artsiness, but being in LA, I'm like, look at this playing field. There's like so much to do here. There's so much potential. Pop, hip hop, all sorts of stuff, Hollywood. So it's helped me open up myself to being okay with being vulnerable in aspects that I haven't been vulnerable before. Because I'm like used to being emotional and like, this happened when I was a kid and it's hard for me to stop drinking and I'll talk about that all day long. But when it comes to like, I don't know, like happiness, relationships, and just that kind of like other side of important stuff, it's helped me open up those avenues.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, myself, I often talk about my past experiences in my song because I always think that, you know what, that might help somebody else if you talk about the things that you've been through, and it might encourage or uplift somebody else and help them get through whatever they need to get through. What do you enjoy most about being an artist?
Oh, wow. Getting to be myself fully. I was talking to my mom on the phone today, and my birthday was yesterday, so it's kind of like that chapter. Thank you. It's kind of like that chapter, and then the self-love song. And I just like was talking to my mom on the phone and my friend yesterday, and I was just like, music is a part of who I am. Acting is a part of who I am. Writing. So no matter how many people listen, no matter where the song gets streamed, no matter what happens with what I'm putting out there, every single day, what brings me joy is music, and what brings me joy is writing. So I'm going to do those things no matter what. And so, yeah, just kind of like having a little bit more sense of freedom to be an artist fully without putting all that pressure on myself that I have to be an artist who makes it, or I have to be an artist that, and then, it's just a relief to be able to be myself. And then also, if I want to be more artsy and like do like a short film that has no plot to it, or like a song that's just about the words or whatever, I'm going to let myself do that.
How has it been during the pandemic? Have you been doing live streaming? What have you been doing to keep up the whole music vibe with your fans?
Yeah, so I live streamed like over like 100 times this past year. And it was definitely a learning curve with like the equipment, it's different, like I've performed a bunch in person, but it's different when you have with the phone right there and the camera right there and the chat going, and then like you can tell if I'm like playing a chord and then I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't know the way it sounded. You can like see it on my face. But if I'm playing at a club up on the stage, it's not as visceral. You can't see, and I mean you can see and feel it, but it's up close and personal. So I found that it's created a lot of like personal relationships with me and the people who listen to my music, and it's caused me to rise to the occasion and learn my songs so well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. One thing I like is, well, I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh, I can just have my cheat sheet music here, look at it every now and then, because Lord knows this past 2020, I can't remember anything. But the live streaming is very interesting to me. Sometimes I have a lot of people, sometimes I don't, and it's okay. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just sing to myself. I love my songs. I'm also of the mind that whatever I put out, I have to love. So do you love the music that you write and that you put out?
Yeah, definitely. I have a particular journey with each song, and I love each of them for different reasons, because they come from different moments, and it's just like this full experience. A lot of times I write the lyrics based off a certain situation. So, and I love like moments, no matter if they're quote unquote negative or quote unquote positive, because it's an experience that's an experience that's experienced. It's like, it's life is for the living. So
amen to that.
Yeah.
How do you deal with anybody that gives you negativity or criticism? Because this business is all about the criticism and the positivity.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like the further along the path that I get, that's when the particular haters come out of the woodwork. And I always tell myself, I'm like, that means you're doing something right. If you're in front of people and their first gut reaction is like, geez, I really hate you, then it's like, okay, well, I'm doing something right if I cause someone to react so quickly. So to answer your question, I had someone say a comment like, basically to boil it down, they're just like, and it's amidst all the other comments that are amazing. We love you, we love the song, we love this, we love that. And then there's that one comment, that one loose crack somewhere, and then all of a sudden it pops up and it's like, this is the most cliche thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, and of course it's the first thing I read in the morning. So I said back, hey, thanks for your comment. Hey, thanks for your comment. Did you get a chance to check out my other music? Because my other music, you know, you might have a different opinion about everything else because this particular song is like this and that particular song's like that.
Right.
Take care, heart emojis. So that's how I deal with it, is either I delete it or I do the whole kindness thing, because, I mean, it is what it is, because we all go through different stuff. I know that if I'm acting out, if I honk at someone in traffic, it's because I'm already in a bad mood.
Right.
Yeah.
I love your answer. I think it's beautiful. I try to do that, but sometimes, you know, the other nasty comes out. And I have to say a few words. I noticed that on YouTube a lot. You know, there's always that one person that has to give something a thumbs down. There's always that one person that gets a thumbs down. Are you going to be performing a song for us tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to do my new single.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So it's on the speaker. Let's test the levels before I jump into it. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got a microphone. It's like karaoke 2.0. Oh yeah, all right. Go ahead and rip it off like I haven't felt this before. Band-aids only last so long. Eventually, you gotta get down to the core. Well, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Every day I hold on a little bit longer. This chance is mine, just feel my vibe. Watch you spin around, don't need no validation. Watch me, no time for explanation. Here's my self-love proclamation. My happiness is now what I long for. Yes, it is. Ain't wasting no more time locked behind that dark closed door. Well, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Every day I hold on a little bit longer. This chance is mine, just feel my vibe. Watch you spin around, don't need no validation. Watch me, no time for explanation. Here's my self-love proclamation. Me, myself, yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Sometimes a big old devil will try me again, but I trust myself so much, I know I won't give him no. This dance is mine, just feel my vibe. Watch you spin around, don't need no validation. Watch me, no time for explanation. Here's my self-love. This dance is mine, just feel my vibe. Watch you spin around, don't need no validation. Watch me, no time for Here's my self-love proclamation. Whoa, yeah, proclamation. Ba, 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 ba. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
I love that. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
So what are you working on now?
Oh my gosh, you know it's always something.
Yeah.
So I have a music video coming out on Valentine's Day on Sunday for the track. Then I'll probably do a lyric video for it, maybe like a week or two down the line. But I'm working on a new album that I'm recording in San Francisco next month.
Oh wow.
That's gonna be like more my hippie side.
Okay.
So it's very poetic, really wordsy, but I'm working with a great producer who's like gonna help me be clear and concise with the vision, with all the instrumentals and stuff like that.
That's awesome. How do you feel about streaming platforms? You know, the streaming platforms like Spotify. So many people have different views about them. One of the things I think is that, I don't like the fact that Spotify doesn't pay really that much, or they all don't pay that much. However, it's a way for your music to be heard and gain you fame.
Exactly. And it's a way to get indie artists in the scene, in the conversation. We no longer have these gatekeepers of like, well, you have to press a demo, you have to work with these producers, you have to get placed in the store. It's like free range for all of us indie artists. Right. So I absolutely love it. I think with the payment and stuff, you know, it's kind of like it just is, you know. And I'm happy to be on those platforms and reach as many people as possible. And then on the flip side, I'm also a Spotify user. So as a Spotify like premium user, I love being able to like listen to the curated playlists, listen to music for hours and hours. So I really like it, you know. And then there's other ways for artists to make money. However, that being said, there should be even more ways, you know, with touring eventually coming back, that'll be good, merch, you know. But we'll see more of a transition into artists being able to take the reins of their career, even on a higher level with like record labels, because we have these 360 deals. But where's the money going to come from if touring is on hold, if Spotify pays half a penny per song, you know what I mean? So it's up to us, you know?
No. It's funny because I love Journey. And when Steve Perry was like, oh, I'm releasing a new album, I was like, oh my God, I got to get that album. I got to go buy it. And then I was like, wait a minute. I have Pandora, Spotify, and Apple Music. I don't need to go out and buy this, but I will say this. If I really like an album a lot or a single, I will purchase both of those things. I will purchase a single. You know, anybody and everybody can make the $1.29 expense. If you can buy $5 Starbucks coffee, you can buy $1.29. How are your fans? Do you have devoted fans?
Yes, I do. If you're watching right now, I have very devoted fans. I call them the bunnies because people are like, who are the bunnies? And I'm like, well, the bunnies are my band. But since I have like a rotating cast of characters in my band, you know, if I'm in San Francisco or LA, I'm performing with these people. If I'm in Nashville, these people. In Colorado, these people. You know, and then in the future, maybe a solid band that I tour with just everywhere. But it's become this thing where people are like, oh, well, who are the bunnies? And I'm like, they're my fans.
That's right.
The bunny family. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to my fans watching right now. And thank you so much for streaming my music and being along for the journey. They're so kind to me. And we kind of have like this personal relationship. I message a lot of them back and forth.
Do you collaborate with any other artists as well?
Yeah, right now I'm working with, well, that song that I just performed that came out today, actually, I collaborated and co-wrote it with Justine Blazer in Nashville of 1017 Studios. And then we've done a few other co-writing sessions. And here in LA, I'm starting to like manage some artists or kind of be that mentor for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a friend who she speaks about the social topics so well. I have a friend who is really starting to put herself out there, or she wants to, and I'm like, are you ready? Like one post on social media per day,
Right.
hashtag it, reach out to your fans, like everything. So yeah, starting to collaborate and continuing to collaborate.
That's fantastic. Now that you bring up the whole social media thing, how do you manage that? I know for myself, you know, I wake up early in the morning and I know what I want to post. I don't have a preset thing like using Buffer, which I believe Buffer is great. So how do you manage all your social media posts?
I kind of just go like off the cuff of my sleeve. I might have an idea of a certain type of theme.
Right.
That like a ship through water, you know, it's like, okay, I've got this single coming out for self-love, so let's do like light pinks and like all that type of quotes. So I might not necessarily know what I'm going to post, but I'll just feel it out per day. And I think it keeps it fun and keeps it lively, because sometimes it can be like, oh, well, social media is a part of like the career part of it too. Right. And then I plan stuff somewhat ahead, and I'm always thinking about how can I be on the leading edge and have something interesting. Like I just filmed an Instagram Reels right before we jumped on this podcast, and yeah, just like how can I show off this makeup that someone sent me. Right. So it's always off the cuff, but kind of planned.
Okay. And are you on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, but the type of TikToker I am, I'm like the selfie and talk type. At first I started as like, okay, I'll do the cute dances, the renegade or the, you know, the rock star dance and stuff. Well, first of all, it takes a long time to learn all those charades. Right. And second of all, I just started to get into this thing where I'd go onto TikTok and just talk about stuff that annoys me. And that's essentially what my TikTok has become. It's just like a series of videos of me being like, y'all, I noticed this today, and I just wanted to say that I noticed this today, and it bothers me. So that's my TikTok. I don't know. All sorts of random stuff.
You know what? I actually like it. I wasn't on TikTok for the longest time. I was like, oh, I can't be silly, goofy. But when the pandemic hit, I did a video with my mom. We never posted it until recently. My one thing with TikTok is this. Is like, I always see how other artists will use other people's music to push TikTok. But they never use their own. Like, I will only use my own. It's very rare that I use other people's. If I use other people's, I've done it twice. I think I have cats, and I do the cat video thing. And I've done one of my friend Nikki Chris, I did one of her songs. But I normally just push my music because, you know, I get tired of pushing other people's stuff. In that sense, in the TikTok, because we're doing stuff for them. We need to do stuff for us. Do you agree? Yeah. So what I've started doing is reaching out to people too, to be like, hey, here's my new song. I'll show them a TikTok that I did with it. And I'm like, would you be interested in doing a TikTok with it too? So I'm doing kind of like that influencer marketing type thing. Yeah, and I mean, I said my TikTok is all videos of me like, I noticed this today and it bothers me so much. I actually have some like music insight, like me behind the scenes recording and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm generally pushing my own music. Good. Just because that's who I am. Should be doing. I'm gonna push my music, you know? Tell people where they can find you. Oh, cool. Well, thanks so much for having me on the show today. It was really fun to chat with you. Thank you. I'm so honored to have you on my show. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was the debut of performing my song live. All right. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Yes, chatting with Nat. That's right. Social media. So here, you can just click on Instagram on one of these. My name's over here. And I'm pretty active on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm Kendra and the Bunnies Music. On Spotify, Kendra and the Bunnies, Apple Music, YouTube. I post a lot of YouTube videos. Would love to see y'all there on my YouTube channel, and subscribe if you can. And that's kind of the 411. Oh, my TikTok is Kendra and the Bunnies Music. Awesome. Well, you heard it here. You heard it from Kendra. Go find her. I mean, she's all over the place, and she's phenomenal. Thank you, Kendra, once again for being on Chatting with Nat. Until next time, have a nice evening.
You too. Thanks, Nat.
Thanks.